Happy time. Let me just take you through the second PU board examination, revision over the subjects, like say the topics which are there, the grammar as well as the literature part. So as you all know, 50 marks is allotted for the grammar and 50 marks for prose and poetry put together. So right now I will just take you through the 50 marks of grammar, wherein we can just see which are the easiest one or the which can be scored easily out of these mains, because there are so many mains in that, but which is the most easiest one, approachable. That is what I'll help you out with this. Okay, so right now if you look at in the question paper, there's something called a main called 26th main, where we have a verb form. So what does this verb form mean? There is a word given, like say occupied in the brackets, and then there's a dash which is given before that. So that means like I need to be writing the passive form of this word. Okay, verb form meaning the suitable verb form meaning like I'm going to do the passive voice of this verb. So I can look at the noun, and obviously here in this blank there are two options which are there. Generally over the number of papers that we have seen, generally it is was occupied, or it could be were occupied. So was or were is the keyword there, and then I take the V3 form, that is the third form of the verb. Occupy, occupied, occupied. Speak, spoke, spoken. So like this, that the V3 form or the third form is what I should be writing it down along with was or were. Most of the time it is was or were. Like this you will have 3 blanks which is in the form of paragraph. Again this paragraph will be from your lessons only, one of the proses. So here, so I can score 3. So don't have any confusion when you enter the first one. Okay, this particular main carries 3 marks. That is, you are going to be writing down was or were, along with that the verb which is there in the brackets in the V3 form. 3 sentences only you will be writing down. So either you write down the answer directly, or you can write the paragraph and then write down, but underline the answer. So here there is more possibility for you to score 3 on 3, because all that you will be concentrating is either you will put a was or a were. Why am I saying was or were? Is was for the singular noun, that is the council was organized, and then were, the criminals were captured. So if you have a plural noun, then you will use were. If it is a singular noun, then you use was. So keep that option ready when you see this main verb form. Immediately your mind should be ready with was or were and the verb in the V3 form. So that's how you will do. So there is more chances of scoring 3 on 3 in this particular main. So the next main following this, I'm skipping few mains because I'm just helping you out to take the easiest one. So the next that we will be looking at are the linkers. Now what are linkers? Linkers are nothing but the conjunctions. That is and, so, therefore, because, yet, while, those kind of words come, and there will be 4 of them. And for your information, like to make it easier, they are going to give you 4 options also, which are the 4 words which are used in that paragraph. There are 4 blanks and then 4 words are given to you, and all that you need to do is fix the appropriate linkers and finish it off, finish the paragraph. Most of the time this paragraph is again from the literature. Okay, so sometimes now among the 4 words there can be 2 words which can be used in 2 blanks. So when you come across like that, the minute I see that in a blank I can put and et, or but and et, but and so. So I am able to put 2 words in a particular blank. Please don't be in a hurry to fill it up. Just wait and then finish the rest 3. Whatever is remaining would be the right one for this, because 1 blank takes 1 answer for sure, and then there can be 2 in certain blanks, but then when you finish everything you don't have an extra one, so you can easily score. So in this main also there is more chances of scoring 4 on 4. Okay, just before this you have another main. Okay, we are dealing with the second one, then I say the third one. Complete the dialogue forms. So what does this mean? There is a bit of a situation which is given in the form of a single sentence, and then there are people who are conversing. So in the brackets it would be given like say greetings, and then what I'm supposed to do is I'm going to write here hello, excuse me, how are you, or hello, excuse me, good morning, or good afternoon, please can you help me. So greetings is how you are greeting them. So basically it is good morning or hello those kind of words should come here in this greetings. So whatever instructions are given in the brackets, accordingly the conversation will go on. Sometimes portion of the conversation is given or the dialogue is given, and then you need to complete it with whatever is given here. Like say, give information, then I will add on the information. Sure, I can help you. Then you say here, give information. Then you say, this is found in the second floor if it is a library situation. So things like that. So whatever is given in the brackets, accordingly you will write. Ask for information, ask for direction. Then you write here, like say here in this blank, then accordingly you will write on, please help me locate this place. So that's what you are expected to do in the blank. Then after that, probably at the end they will ask you Thanksgiving or gratitude or leave taking. These are the words which comes in the bracket. Then you understand that I'm supposed to be writing thank you so much for your help or thank you for guiding me through. The words like thank you represent the the word there as gratitude, and then leave taking is I will take leave of you, bye-bye. So those kind of things if it is an informal situation, or I will take leave and then I'll stay connected with you, or I will expect a call from you, or I will soon meet you. Okay, something like that. Leave taking is basically bye-bye, but depending on how it is, whether it is formal or informal, you will be writing something as a closure. So here on this also you are going to be given 4 sentences, 4 conversations, and all the 4 carries 1 mark each. So here there is more probability to go because you are given a guidelines. So this is also a easy score. Now after this, there's another main which talks about the note making. So here what happens is there is a short paragraph which is given or a short passage which is given, and after that you are given some flow chart. So maybe there is a connection, there is a flow, and then they would just ask you to fill in the blanks accordingly. So here can be and or anything like that could be given. So all these are based on the short paragraph that is given. So read the paragraph, and as and when where the words are missing, you will just fill it up. And sometimes sentences are skipped. They go to the next one because the sentence is just giving an elaborate information. But what I am going to jot it down here in the particular boxes is what is relevant to that. So please read the passage and then pick only the right words. Most of the time it is a single word, and sometimes it's phrases also. So pick up the right one and then write. Don't write the entire sentence because that doesn't give any input here, because you're replacing the same thing from the paragraph and it doesn't come under note making. So here each blank you are awarded half a mark, 8 of it will be there. So 4 is again an easy way of getting or scoring. Okay, so these are the few things which are there, and then after this you are getting into a larger one. This whatever we are going to deal with now is based on the 5 markers. So the remaining 5 markers which are there in the question paper is what we are going to discuss just now. There's something called as a letter of application. So you are supposed to write a letter of application. So here this is for 5 marks. So this involves I need to write a formal letter, plus I need to attach my resume, frame my resume and write down. If I am going to write only the format or the layout of the formal letter and the resume, I score nothing. Mind it, I score nothing. Though I write the entire thing and it just spreads for more than 1.5 pages, but you will score nothing. Just for format you won't get anything. So what we have to do is whatever information is given, we need to incorporate into the format that is given. So first formal letter is what we will write, or we call it as a cover letter, followed by the resume that we are going to write down. Okay, the format quickly I'll run through. It is the from address, from name, generally it is XXX, and address which is YYY. Then I put the date. Date could be from the newspaper, whatever advertisement is there, the same date you can put here. After that you have to address, that is the people, the person whom I have addressed to or whom I am writing the application or joining the job for. And then after that I am having salutation, which is like say I directly write dear sir or madam. And then I have the subject, which says that it is the application for job, or it is a job application for the post. So I write down here, and after that reference, from where did I get this information? So we have the newspaper. So advertisement in the newspaper, be it the Times of India or the Deccan Herald, whatever is given in the question, the same thing I will write down here, dated, which date the advertisement had been posted. So based on these things, after that I write IXXX, and then whatever qualification is asked in that question, the same thing I will write down. Postgraduate, graduate or SSLC, whatever, and then I write down the details, not more lines, just say 4-5 lines of that information, and after, at the end, I just say thank you or thanking you. Also I can say thank you, and then yours truly. This is easy to remember the spelling, otherwise you will write down yours sincerely also, but this is easy to write down. So yours truly, and then you put your signature, write your name in long letters. So this is a part of this. This is my formal letter, and I have written down the information. After this, in a fresh sheet, please write down the resume. So resume consists of, you will write down your name. So name would be again based on this. So my name as of now on the application is XXX. Then address. Then I have father's name. Address is again YYY. And father's name could be ABC. Nowhere I am using any name unless they mention in the letter that imagine you to be Rohan or Roshni, and then write down this letter of application, which is the rare case. Okay, most of the time it is the X and the Y for the address. Now after this, there's something called as a date of birth. In case you are unable to find out the date of birth or calculate the date of birth, just put a backslash and then say age. If I'm supposed to be like an applicant, I'm supposed to be a graduate, so I say my age would be 21 years. Now if I am a graduate with 3 years, that is what is expected in the question, 21 plus 3, 24 years. So that's what I'll be writing down, if in case you are unable to calculate the date of birth. But don't leave any gap over there, okay? This is your resume, so whatever you put here, information should be adopted from the question itself. Now after this, we have nationality, and then languages that I know, all that you can fill it up. Don't leave a gap again, you can just fill it up, and after that you have something very important, educational qualifications. So here I start off with my SSLC, and then which year I passed out, what's my percentage scored, and then after that I go to second PU. If it is a graduation, now I don't know what type of a graduation it is, whether it is an MSc, MA, or what do we call that if I don't know. That's for post graduation, BSc, BA, whatever. I don't know exactly what is that. Psychology, how they say BSc or BA in psychology. If I'm not sure about it, what you do is just write down graduation. Okay, graduation or post graduation, depending on what is the thing, and then finish off with that with the percentage and the year of passing. And after that, we have work experience. Another column that you need to be writing down is the work experience. Now under the work experience, if only in the question they have asked you, you are a graduate with 2 years of work experience and applying for this particular post, a receptionist or whatever the post is. Now if they are mentioning in the question that you are experienced with 2 years or 4 years, then you write down the work experience, and at that time I need to add on here along with the qualification my experience, and the age will be altered accordingly. Okay, otherwise you need not write this. If there is no experience expected out of that, you can omit this one. And after this we write down hobbies and interests. So this will just add on or add value to my resume. So it talks about like I'm interested in traveling, in meeting people or conducting classes or any of those things. Or you could also write down that you have been certified as a, like say trainer in any of those topics which you are interested in, or you have undergone any of the diploma courses or certificate courses in computers. Whatever you want to write down, you can write down here as an added value, but depending on what post you are applying for. Clear? Now after this, there is an option called, again, declaration. So I either write down IXXX declares that the above information in my resume is true to my knowledge. Okay, so either you write down that statement as declaration, or you could just write down, finish off with 1-2 lines, you leave gap,
then write place and date. Date will be the same thing that I have put up there. Here, whatever date I am writing down, place will be YYY, and below this to the right, I put my signature and end my thing. So under this, like say when you write place and date, leave a line, and just below that, as an end to the entire thing, is what you will be writing down the. Okay, now here, place will be my YYY, and then the date will be, let's say whatever date I have put, and immediately by the side you put your signature. Okay, small signature of XXX. Okay, this is how we will say. Now both of this, now I have written here right now only the format, but then if you include whatever I have been telling you all this while, this is the easiest way of scoring 5 on 5. You will definitely get 5 on 5 if you are just applying all of the information that is given in the question and then use the format in this way. Okay, so this is one where you can be rest assured of 5 marks. After this you have another main. The next 5 marker that you can appear for or take it very easily is an optional one. It is either you take up a speech writing or you do a graph interpretation. So this is the first and only optional question that you have in the grammar. This carries 5 marks. So whichever you choose, either you choose a speech writing or you choose a graph interpretation, both carry 5 marks. Now for speech writing, you might be given a profile or a biodata of a person who would be your chief guest or who has come as a guest of honor or whatever, and the situation is given and your designation also is given. So based on that, you will have to be writing down a speech, a welcome speech or an introductory speech or whatever, you know, or vote of thanks. It could be anything, but information, everything is given in the question. So you could just start off with a proverb or with a saying, depending on whether it is the youth forum that is there, annual day is there, sports day is there or whatever. Depending on that, if you could write down a fancy line in the beginning, and then after that you just say, I'm happy, or good morning everyone, whoever is there, good morning everyone, people on dais, people off the dais, and those kind of words if you can say, I'm very happy to be amidst this elated group, those kind of things if you can put it as an introduction. And after that, picking the information from the profile, you can write down in the form of sentences about what the achievements of the person is, whoever has come in. Now you could just look into that if the person has like secured or he has achieved something, you can put the achievement first and then introduce the person, just to keep a little bit of suspense in that, a little bit of interesting thing or creativity in your writing. Otherwise, if you are just going to replicate the profile just like that, probably in an English language, if you could look at that, there's not much of a creative work into it. So you might not reach 5 on 5, you might fall short of it. But then it's alright, getting 0 against 5 is a great number. So you could just look into that and then put in the profile, like whatever is the profile information, add on to that. Okay, once everything is done, at the end you need to be wrapping it up. Say thank you so much, and then for giving me these dias to do it, and those kind of things you can write down. I'm very happy to be amidst all of them, and then, or if it is a welcome speech, then you say I leave the dias for the dignitary to take over and then do the welcoming. Or it could be like, say if you are introducing, then you say please join hands with me, the audience please join hands with me and let us welcome the chief guest. So you can make it a little fancy there when you are answering it, or a little dramatic when you can end the entire thing. So this is about writing the speech. Okay, now there is an option. No, I cannot do all these, like say fancy ones, or the profile is too less. I can't elaborate that and get more information. Then what you do is opt for the graph interpretation. Most of the time there is a pie graph which is given, pie chart, or it is a bar graph which is given. So you look at what is given, whether it is the the graph which is given, you just understand if it is a comparative graph or if it is a single graph. So here I have probably boys and girls I might have here, and then I will have in 2010 and in 2015. So I might have years, I might have the discrepancy between boys and girls, or it could be literate and illiterate, or it could be urban and rural. So whatever is it. So if you are given a comparative thing, what you do is in the question you were given the first line. So the bar graph represents a comparative study of, and mention all of this. So your first paragraph in the graph interpretation would be what exactly we are dealing with this, or what is this research all about. And after that, individually, if there are more, then you just take it individually and write down in the second paragraph. What are the scores? Whether it is the percentage or the number is in million, if it is a population, if it is in the millions, what it is, or percentage, or it is just the number of people, or however it is, whatever is the unit that is used, mention that. Do it individually. And after that, in the third paragraph, you are going to compare over the years, or between boys and girls, or from rural to urban, what is the change and in which year, and what is the thing, why there is a difference, which is more, which is less, and what is that could, why do you feel that the reason for that. Okay, that will be your third one, which is a conclusion. So now if you are going to write down exactly what is given in the form of numbers, you are converting that and making in the form of sentences, that itself will help you get 50% of the marks. Like say 2.5, so easily you will get out of 5. So this is again a scoring main. So please don't overcome this or just overlook this. You either choose speech writing or the graph interpretation. Okay, these two are fetching you 5 marks, so it can fetch you full 5 also if you just do a bit of the writing in this in an expanded form. Okay. The next one that we are going to deal with is, like say, I have not included, now this entire thing whatever I have told you is covering up to 30 marks, but then I have not included the paragraph which is there, which comes for paragraph comprehension, which is there, that's for 10 marks. So in this, easily you can get 8 because there are direct questions which are there. Following this, we have the poetry or the poem paragraph which is there for 3 marks. Again, that is like each line you are given a question. Either the ending of the first line or the beginning of the second line will have the answer. So that is again like 3 marks. These two I have not included. Here out of 10, 2 questions will be a little away from that. It's a bit of knowledge seeking. So one is prefix you need to be using to make it an opposite. And then the other one is the noun form. Say T-I-O-N, S-I-O-N, M-E-N-T. Those kind of words you will have to be changing it. Or you will have to identify whether a verb should get into or a noun. Like say threat or threatened. So between the two, according to the sentence, what's the word that can fit in. So only 2. If you look at, like say, if those 2 are challenging for you, at least 8 you should score, which is a direct answer from the passage. Now this is regarding your grammar. Now apart from this, don't stop your answering only with this. Please check up with your poetry and prose also. Literature, we have in the third main, which talks about, like say, 3 questions are given and then you're supposed to pick only one question and 1 answer you will be doing for the question which carries 6 marks. So this you can attempt. If you are going to write down the summary or the entire thing, what are the incidents that happened in the chapter, you will easily get 3.5 or 4. So don't skip on this or don't miss on this. Please attempt. Okay, there are 3 questions. You need to be picking only 1. And then again, we have the first main, which is about 1 markers. 12 of it, no options in this. Now out of this, if you have just out of 14 chapters, if you are just reading only 7 or 8, 50% of it if you complete also, you will be able to get some 5-6 points or 5-6 marks out of this. So please attempt, don't skip any of it. Okay. Then the second main is a 4 marker where 8 you will have to write out of 10. So again, here also, you just write down what you know about that lesson or what you know about that incident, and then you will be able to score at least 50% of the marks. So here you can get some buffer marks also. So please attempt everything and happy preparation. Thank you.